Welcome back, Hulahans. Aloha Friday. Happy Slurpee Day, man. 7-Eleven.
Is
7-Eleven.
7-Eleven. I love it. I love it. I just got that. Excelente.
Slurpee Day. But no Slurpees over here. They just give you discounts on toilet paper and bath soap. So a little less exciting.
Gotcha. Well, if I was on Maui, it'd be Shave Ice Day, I guess, then instead of the Slurpee.
Shave Ice it is. I don't think we have 7-Eleven.
I think there's one in over across from like the ale house or something
Is
on
there one over there?
Kahului. I think there's one. You know,
Not a lot. Not like there is over here. But
no.
anyways, shouts out
Yo,
Anthony. Pineapples arrived safely and you're enjoying them. So just want to say there's some rewards sometimes for watching the show. So feel free to share it, tune in, and enjoy your pineapples in style.
let's go. So, my little SoCal journey continues.
Yeah, how's that going, Johnny?
Yeah, well, I was contemplating because, we did some interviews with our past clients when we were doing some due diligence on, why Maui is such an important thing in their life. And I remember our client that lives and works in Orange County said, I just feel so relaxed on Maui because I feel so stressed in like the natural habitat. And I was just thinking, so I decided to take my vacation where you feel the most stressful.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice.
Well, it's visitation though, You come see the in-laws here in Coronado. Really had some intentions to get to the OC, have some friends in Dana Point. I wanted to check out my friend and client that's just retired there in Newport, but man, I don't know if I can pull it off. Did just go visit our aunt and uncle up in Marina Del Rey. Man, I think that they do not like where they're at. They lost their place in Topanga in the LA fires. They bought I mean, it's a great space, dude. I mean, it's so, I don't know, it looks like a Spanish villa on the outside, small lot, right? Like 3,000 feet, but almost 4,000 square feet of space. But dude, they're in their 80s and it's literally 4 floors of stairs, dude. Like
Wow.
gnarly, man, but beautiful space. But it looks like they're going to retire on Maui instead because
Ooh,
that's too, they're used to kind of being up there in the hills and foxes and they love birds and nature. And now they're just kind of in it, around that marina. So
different vibe.
it is. So Danny, I shared that video that I came across. I don't know when it hit, but I found it on social media, and I just found it to be like the most eloquent kind of breakdown of, you know, more of the side of the Bill 9, the Minatoy list condos, kind of the local perspective of how they see this as being a benefit to them. And so I kind of wanted to bust that out there and just, it's going to be about 4 minutes, 4 minutes and 20 seconds randomly. But yeah, let's give it a listen, man.
Here we go.
Bill 9 primarily is going to talk about bringing condos online for our residents, but the reason why we're even looking at condos is because the situation with our single family homes is so out of control for our residents. This has actually been going on for at least 25 years, and it's made housing unaffordable for an entire generation that lives here on Maui. What we see is that in the 80s and 90s, 50 to 70% of all of our home sales were affordable to our median family. That means my parents were able to afford a home here when they bought their home. But if we look in the past 25 years, we can see that number has plummeted. So let's talk about the possible solutions. And the most popular solution that people like to propose as an alternative to Bill 9 is construction. And construction is indeed an important solution to pursue. But the reality is it's going to take so long that this is really just a solution for my grandchildren and maybe even my great-grandchildren. On top of that, in addition to building extremely few homes in West Maui and South Maui, most of those homes do not end up housing our residents. Bill 9 proposes to phase out 6,000 transient vacation rentals and have them become resident housing. 2,275 of those units are in West Maui. It would take 30 years at current construction rates to build that many new homes in West Maui. That's not even accounting for the fact that we need to rebuild Lahaina first. Where that leaves us is the only other solution that's really on the table, which is the TVR phase out. And that's the only solution been proposed that can actually make progress on our housing crisis. Maui has about 13,000 transient vacation rentals. Let's put that into a global context. Los Angeles, Boston, Barcelona, and London as global tourist destinations that have all identified transient vacation rentals as reducing resident housing inventory and increasing housing costs. In Maui County, transient vacation rentals are 21% of our housing supply. So Maui County is in a totally different category here in terms of the impact they have on our housing market. These units are appropriately sized. This is misinformation that is often cited by opposition to this bill, that no one wants to live in 1 and 2 bedroom units. That's not true. Data independently collected all found that 1 to 2 bedroom housing was the highest demand housing for our displaced families in West Maui. This is the big one. Bill 9 improves condo affordability. We project that condo prices on Maui will decrease by 25% by 2027. Therefore, affordability would improve because prices decrease more than incomes. So they're saying that not only will these Bill 9 condos become significantly more affordable, but all condos on Maui will become significantly more affordable. They say that 21% of our families, or over 11,600 households, will be able to comfortably afford these units. Combined, these units could be attainable to 49% of all households on Maui. That is much needed by our families. What we can do is we can look at the owners of all of these Minatoya transient vacation rentals and say, do you actually live on Maui County, right? Are you a long-term renter or an owner here in Maui County? 94% of the owners of these units are not. So what does that mean? 94% of the lost lodging revenue will be lost by our non-resident owners, not our residents. So this means much of this lost lodging money was never going to stay on Maui anyway. So you hear is probably correct that we're going to lose, a significant amount of revenue, but we have to remember that not all that revenue was going to stay and circulate in our community in the first place. The very last point I want to talk about here is water. Property 1, which allows TVRs, 97% TVRs, their average unit uses 570 gallons of water per day. Property 2, which is 74% non-owners and 26% residents, uses an average of 128 gallons per day. Now, we can't do a naive comparison of these two numbers because non-owners aren't here all the time. But if we take that into account, what we find is that TVRs in these two complexes use 60 to 120% more water than our resident condos use across the course of a year. Why is that important? That's important because literally the lack of water is blocking new housing from being developed. I think we all know, for example, about the Pulelehua project in West Maui, which cannot move forward because there's not enough water. If we were to convert 6,000 of these TVRs into resident housing, we wouldn't just get 6,000 new resident homes, but we would free up excess water for 3,600 to 7,200 additional resident homes. So in summary, right, Maui desperately needs more resident housing, and the TVR phase out is the only solution on the table that accelerates this housing by decades. Mahalo.
So what do you think there, Danny, when you hear this?
Let me get rid of that. Apologies. My initial response is okay. It's kind of compelling. It's kind of eloquent. It's well put out there, well projected. How? How does this actually happen now? So 6,000 units who are owned by majority off-island people. Now, how do those become long-term rentals, or how do they get transferred hands?
There's the rub, right? Do you kind of get the sense too, like there's this pushback that, the Maui government had nothing to do with the situation that we're in. That's what I keep coming back to, and nobody wants to hold the players accountable, man. Like it upsets me so much, and it's simplistic, and I want it to be the right thing. I want it to benefit the people. I would love it to be affordable, and us to go into a situation where young people do get a condo, and then maybe they turn that into their first investment property and move into a home. But it's just so rare that we see it. And my difficulty is that I know of condos that are affordable on Maui. West Maui Trades, Honokua East, Maui Lani Terraces, Kahului Akena now, Harbor Lights, Kenaleo, Kihei Villages, Kamalani, right? And yet, what do we deal with every single time that we head down the road of helping out one of our clients buy one of these types of condos?
Litigation, issues of financing, which we've talked
Can I
about
do
on the show a
FHA?
lot.
Can Can we do FHA loans in them? Dude, 3.5% down, backed by the government, low
N-
interest rate, lower than the current rates.
Usually not.
Oh, typically going to be some kind of funky DSCR loan, definitely non-QM, right? Which means a non-qualifying mortgage, which means Fannie and Freddie will not even sniff at it. And what that means is typically a 25 to 30% down payment. So what am I saying? A $450,000 two-bedroom, one bath, affordable housing on Maui. You got to plunk down how much money?
20, 30%.
Boom. And then you got to have 3 points to pay for the loan just to get done because that's how the guys make the money because they're doing this funky kind of risky loan because Fannie and Freddie doesn't want to touch it, right? So literally 2.5, 3 points just to pay that get done. I could maybe grind that out with the right seller though, right? But now I got to tell you, you got to expect another point, maybe three-quarters of a point higher interest rate as well. So do they fly off the shelves?
They don't, and we'll see that later in the hot list. Price reduction, price reduction, price reduction, cancel listing. They're not really flying off the shelf.
So that's where, I'm like, man, how does this thing play out even, right? So let's just assume, Danny, that it's going to go through because it feels like the emotions are there and the push is there. The interesting thing is that they don't want to implement it right away, which is only going to cause chaos. But maybe that's there because chaos is going to bring the prices down. I don't know. But
Yeah, so they say 2 years that prices are going to come down 25%. I mean, we've seen prices come down almost 40% in a lot of condos, 30, 40%. Like Pacific Shores were almost $1 million. Now they're 600,000. They're still not selling. So those are down 40% from where they were. I
right,
mean, some of the statistics that they also share too. I mean, comparing us to London, Boston, LA, Barcelona, I mean,
150,000 people on Maui, dude.
Yeah,
Seriously.
versus millions, millions and millions of houses in those places as well, and nonstop construction. And they're always building in a lot of these places. I mean, Hong Kong is like 8 million people and they're never stop building. I mean, there's always a new project, always a new housing development. We don't have that.
What's What's fascinating too is like, we codify the Minatoya condos in 2018. Dude, that's
Yeah.
7 years ago. Why was the push done then? Why didn't we study this at that particular time? Was this part of the conversation? Right? Because I remember at that particular time, what was the big push then, Danny? Let's ramp up the tourism, right?
More tourism, more
That was
revenue,
the jam. That was the
more.
jam. And we're going to whack them with more taxes, which they have. And we'll talk about that coming up here as well. But I do remember 2019 being really pissed off because it's not one of the heavy months of tourism. And I'm stuck on the Pully for really no other reason than just so much traffic. And so I do feel that we did hit that peak point where it was too much humans on the island. And it's no fun for anybody. I mean, I get that tourists go to really crowded beaches. Like I trip out when I'm here in California, like how much people are at the beach. So maybe you're just used to it, but that's not what you're paying to come to Maui for, too. You know what I mean? So I
You
get
want
that
to
there's this
relax.
balance. So these are the kind of things that I think about, try to figure out, So I remember there was a discussion about Lake Tahoe, right? So 2017, or I don't know, sometime during then, they put the kibosh on doing um, vacation rentals. I want to say in second homes or homes there. But about 70% of them just said, no worries. I'm just going to leave it vacant then. When I come and use it, I'll come and use it. Because what is it? It's a well-heeled area, right? Same
Yeah.
thing with Maui, man. So, we do have some wealthy people. Guaranteed there's some people hurting. They'll sell, they'll bring prices down there, but that could happen there as well. My concern, Danny, is, I cut my teeth in real estate in Arizona, right? I'm licensed in 2004. I'm working for a big developer, Pulte Homes, from 2005 till 2009. And I jumped into the REO game because that was the mark of the moment. And dude, I watched houses. You could pick up a $30,000 house in a blue collar neighborhood called Maryville in Phoenix. And dude, I watched Treehouse come in, and you know who a Treehouse was? That was BlackRock money, dude. And they
Mm,
bought thick. They bought deep. So my concern is okay, when you can't get financing, what does the seller want? When it's uncertain about taking this financed offer, I got this certain cash offer. We say it all the
cash all
time,
day.
cash gets the discount, right? So man, I mean, what happens now is okay, does it just flip to, long-term investors that also don't live on Maui? Are we going to start regulating everything? Because the thing for me is we keep voting for the same people. They're just a different age group. I mean, it's always the same. So
Well, it's
anyway,
interesting. I mean, if it does get all bought up by long-term investors, I mean, that seems to be something they're okay with because they're rentals.
yeah.
They
But
want them
what's a
to be
long-term
they want them to be rentals,
right?
but at the same time, most people when they buy a rental property, they want a return on investment, right?
The smart ones are going to have a property manager, a process themselves where my rent goes up X amount to follow inflation, et cetera. And I don't really see our wages follow that. So that's something that I'm considering, I'm concerned with. I'm trying to raise some money with, some Native Hawaiian groups that have reached out to me and I'm like, hey man, let's start talking about this, right? You want to, you're telling me you want to build for Lahaina, but this is the way that Maui County wants to go. So get your money together and let's start buying these up and be compassionate to where, maybe you don't need to have those returns because you're, a compassionate investor, maybe. So,
That's one way to
anyway,
look at it. So
yep.
interesting. You mentioned people could come in and buy up houses for 30,000 in Arizona. Those same houses now
Hmm.
are what 400,000,
Nah, I'd probably say maybe high
300,
twos,
high
300.
twos.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so they've gone up quite
Yep.
a lot. But I know
Oh, insanely so.
a lot of other neighbors. So it's also interesting that they're kind of projecting like, hey, only because of this one thing have prices gone up. Because everywhere I look across the country, prices have gone up. I'm talking to some agents in New Hampshire. I mean, hole in the wall, 3-bedroom house, 1,200 square feet in middle of nowhere, New Hampshire is $400,000. I mean, where I grew up in Minnesota is like most houses were 250, maybe 300. Now those are all 500,000.
We have put so much regulation on building, Danny, that we don't build. We are so far behind. That's what that video really screamed to me at. 20 years this has happened. I'm like, you have mismanaged us for 20 years. You held out. You have this
And we can't
dream
do
of we're
anything
gonna
about
have,
it for another 30
yeah.
years, Johnny. So this is the only option.
I want the wide open spaces too, but how do we make it all work? We're tourists and we don't want to build, we don't want our kids to go, but we want the tourism, but we kind of don't want them to buy stuff, but we want the higher end ones that could buy stuff. And I'm just like, man, but you know what, Danny? We can adapt and that's what we'll do. And we'll just play through the markets and, we'll just keep bringing people the information that they need to make, an educated choice on whatever they're going to do in Maui. And I really appreciate, you and I have looked back at our business. I started out where I had this soft spot. I really wanted to help local people, but I discovered that we don't move around a lot. We have these issues with being able to finance, and our core business has become helping people retire to Maui, right? And
Yes.
so I still hope, I enjoy working in that space, but I do want to help out local people. And so I want to keep my eye on that. And, I hope that there's some of those listening to us here on the show too. And, I hope we can all put our heads together. I definitely don't think that the answer is by the government because, we have Hawaiian Homes land where they haven't given Hawaiians homes. There's not much of us left, but they haven't done that. That could be a solution right away. And then when you do the resale side of Department of Hawaiian Homes land, it's taken a year to get a deal done. So how does
Well,
that help?
there's a handful of those listings on the market for over a year too
Yeah.
that have
So
no
Maui County
buyers.
decides, oh, hey, we'll create up this fund and we'll make our own financing, and that'll take a year to get done. I guarantee it.
Well,
So
and then push comes to shove at the end of the day, what they're saying is whatever direction they go with this, if they do implement it, it's going to take at least 3 to 5 years to implement. So
where's the help come, right?
it's not really an immediate solution. It's a 3 to 5 year potential plan. And then once that actually starts, who knows how long it takes for things to start changing hands. And then where are interest rates then? And where are prices then?
Here's the
You know?
flippant remark that I didn't appreciate, where it's like, oh, no big deal. A big chunk of this revenue isn't even staying here on Maui. And I'm like, you're correct, because the revenue isn't as big as you think. But the
Yeah.
property management fees and the property managers that have these cleaners, bro, cleaners make big money on Maui, bro. That's the revenue
That
that
money
stays
stays.
here. And we're not talking about that. And it's semantics, am I right? Because it's the
Yeah.
revenue that he's talking about. So we're talking about cash on cash returns, 2%. It's not big
2%.
money, dude, especially now. We're doing the numbers. I'm going like from 85,000 gross, somebody's pocketing 15 grand in an all cash investment, dude. So it's interesting,
It's
man,
not
that
big
we're
money, but the tax money is
no.
big and that does stay.
Well, let's talk about that. Show the screen there real quick here, Danny. We'll talk about different strategies. Um, and we'll talk about how this could affect, long-term investment. So these are our tax rates here on Maui. And this is where sometimes you may have caught us say that here in Maui, in Hawaii, we pay the least amount of property taxes in the nation. An interesting fact, a lot of people in the mainland, the markets that I've worked at, they're like, John, I need to live in this school district, right? And that's because the property tax dollars tended to go to the schools to support the schools, and the areas that had more property taxes had better schools. That doesn't happen here on Maui. So here's what it looks like owner occupied. So if you own a house that's up to $1 million in value, what you'll do is you'll fill out a homestead exemption form that proves you're a resident here in Maui. And how you're a resident in Hawaii, you have to file federal taxes as if you are a resident in Hawaii. Doesn't matter if you have a job here in Maui and you're paying taxes and income taxes. If you don't file, like maybe your spouse lives in the mainland, we've had this situation, right? If you are
Yeah.
not filing your federal taxes here on Maui, you are not a true resident. So if you are, homestead exemption reduces the tax assessed value of the property by 300,000. Typically, the assessed value, even though they do use market comps, it tends to be a little less than market value. You agree with that statement?
Agree.
Now that's vastly been blown away with the TVR condos that we're seeing, because now we're seeing prices down in the 600s, but they're still assessing those at a million plus. But back to the owner occupied. So I reduce the tax assessed value, and then I pay $1.80 per $1,000 of assessed value. So in a nutshell, the $1 million home is going to run me about $1,800 a year for my taxes. Now, if you're a second homeowner, again, it's all tiered. So you buy a condo, and you can do second home tax classification there. You're going to pay $5.87 per thousand of assessed value. You're not going to get a homestead exemption. We don't
So
really
about
have
3x.
apartments. Yeah, we don't really have a lot of apartments here. So this is if you're an apartment owner, is what I'm assuming. Hotel and resort, they pay $11.75 per thousand of assessed value. Timeshare ponies up the biggest. And that's why the Westin just was allowed to build like crazy all along North Kaanapali Beach there, right? If we want to talk about water usage, dude, those are behemoths, man. Huge. Nanea built strictly to be 2 3 bedroom laundry condos, big families in, because tourism drives the whole boat. So
And they just built another one
timeshare,
in North Kihei.
have it, brother. Now, TVR, once again, this is the new rates here. You don't get the exemption, $12.50. And the money that was covered from TVR was supposed to be the big saving grace to provide us with affordable housing. However, I never really saw any of that materialize. In fact, I heard we dumped 30 million into Palelehua, only to discover now that we can't build there because we have no water. So we didn't have the foresight then. I mean, we were right on the precipice. Kai Nishiki was all for it, right? All the activists were like, this was the one we can make happen. Now what do we have? Butt kiss.
Nothing.
Long-term rental. This was smart on Maui County's part. This is new. It's been the last couple of years. So to get a long-term rental tax exemption, you have to submit a form before the end of the year, December 31st. You have to send it in with at least a 1 year lease. Now, you can do 6 months or more is what's considered long-term rental, but in order to get the exemption, it has to be 1 year. Now, they give you the same reduction in your tax basis, your assessed value of the property. Win. And now you're looking at $3 per thousand of assessed value. That's a lot of money in your pocket, man, when you consider how much comes out of TVR. So there's a potential play here. I liked what Maui County did because compensation drives behavior. It always will, and it always does. And so I really liked that basis there. Maybe this is something that some people can look at that want to invest in Maui. And I hope it's local people that want to do it. But once again, I really feel strongly that if this all happens, prices come down. We still got the issues with the financing. I see a lot of cash coming in and swooping it up if we do have a bunch hit the market. I just don't know if it even hits the market. And if it doesn't, then all this is talk anywhere. You don't have the inventory that you did your projections on, because you're human beings and you're trying to say that these human beings are going to do this, but you don't know. Maybe a little
Exactly.
long-winded today, but
Because a
I
lot
thought,
of a lot of what we've heard in the testimony is, especially from the property managers, the council is like, okay, so if this goes through, what are your people going to do? And the majority of them say they will keep it because the whole intention of buying the property to begin with was to use for personal time, even if
you
it's
know
just
what's
a
the
month or two
irony?
out of the year.
the irony is we created a system to seduce people to fall in love with Maui. I've never seen an island like it, Danny, where literally there is this visceral love that other people have for this little rock. And I feel it too. I
Yep.
went away to prove it to myself, and it's nothing like it, you know? So you've seduced these people to believe it, and now you're just kind of saying, you shouldn't feel that way, but we still need you to come sometimes and just stay in a hotel.
Yep.
And then I'll show you some aloha.
Maybe.
Anyway, man, interesting times. But you know
So there
what?
you have
That
it.
was a young person on there, right? The youth do come in sometimes and crash the system and start anew. So I don't know. I'm just gonna watch. I'm old, dude. I'm gonna play through, and we're gonna adapt, and we're gonna still be here helping people in Maui real estate, man. Because I can work in all the markets, baby. I bounce through, I weave, I bob, I learn, and I just go.
Duck and dive. That's what we do. So there's still going to be a lot of people that love Maui, come to Maui, make Maui a part of their future. Some are going to be long-term rentals. Some will be, 6-month rentals, and that's part of it too. And we'll see. It's all going to be interesting.
You know, for me, that's why I'm so excited to build on mom's lot is, I look at California when I'm here and I kind of you see the values are just stupid when they're right on the beach. And it's not even that great of a beach to be on, but it's freaking
Yeah.
Newport or whatever, right? So you're
Yeah.
40 million, whatever. But man, those streets as you come back, still crazy money, man. Like my aunt and uncle are like 6 streets back from like Venice Beach. And I'm like, dang, man, that kind of money for that on that kind of lot. So anyway, I'm gonna be 1 street back from Front Street, baby. Not gonna be on the best lot, but I'm gonna have a nice house there. Lahaina's gonna be all brand new. New construction always brings values up. If we can just get building on this town, man, I'm pretty excited about the prospects. So yeah,
It's going to give a big boost. A lot of people want to come back for Lahaina, that's for sure.
there it is.
Right now, how do we get back here? Let's go. Not that one. This one. Are you seeing the taxes again, Johnny?
No, I'm seeing the rampage,
Oh,
but it's
rampage.
just you're not logged in yet.
Let me see how I can find this. There we go. Now you got it.
That's the tax page. That's the one there.
There it is.
So here we
Technology.
go, man. Hotel
Hot list.
zone, Menehune Shores. Still a bunch of money for what it is. Yeah, 885 feet, 1,199. But you got the groovy rooftop deck. This thing's in great condition here. Kind of a deal now for Menehune Shores. This one seems like it's a little further back,
Yeah,
but
it's around the corner.
mhm. Maintenance fee's still not horrible. Set back far enough on the from the ocean that I'm not too worried about sea level rise. Just uh just hanging on the market though, huh?
266 days. I mean, it's
Dropped
down
at
down
50,000.
50,000.
They're not showing the behavior, dude. This isn't somebody that's in a rush. They're not motivated to sell. This is one of those kind of feeling a little uncomfortable or I have a life event. If you can get me this money, I'll sell it. You over the
That's it.
parking lot. That's what's
Your
killing it.
parking lot view, you're still paying a million two. You kind of get a skosh of a view. It's not a great view. So, and it's not super updated. I mean, it's clean inside, but it's not super modern updated.
Great amenities at Manihuni Shores, though, yeah.
Nice pool,
Rooftop, they got a little gym,
beachfront.
pool,
They got it
and a
all.
sister property, right? The Royal Maui and a little further south. So this
That's
one,
it.
dude, is struggling with a location. Like literally that lot, 3877, Happy Valley area. It's just so tight, and kind of funky from what I was looking. I was trying to do some aerials. I was like, why is this thing still hanging out here, man? That's 739 for 1,080 feet, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, redone 2024. Just seems interesting to me. Tells you the funky times, huh?
Funky time. I mean, there's a bit of space to park in there, more than I've seen in other
Dude, it's
properties.
a starter home, man. Start it up. Go there and set your budget and don't even have to worry about your rent getting increased. Still an opportunity, man.
Yeah, 170 days, nothing. So, affordability,
Mm.
no takers.
So here we go, gang. This is Pohailani, and remember, Pohailani's funky to where you have this oceanfront, mostly studios, zoned hotel directly across the street. You have Pohailani duplexes. They're one story below and then another one up on top, so that's sandwich type. But Pohailani oceanfront is hotel zoned. So this is an opportunity, man. I mean, 549 starting to be like typical studio pricing for me. So maybe this is more market level, but 1405 for the fees though, man. And people have a tough time, Danny, thinking long term, can I hang out for months at a time at 395 feet? I'm gonna say yes. But for a lot of people that haven't lived that way and haven't like lived Maui and kind of seen like you don't really need as much as you think you do here on Maui. I feel that
Yeah, once you're used to bigger square footage, it's hard to change it up. But people who are used to it, no big deal.
way. Yeah, man.
Pohelani.
So boom, new construction, Mahana Ridge, man. Our clients have to be super happy, dude. They're gonna build a nice fat house. They're gonna build equity immediately. I like the Mahana Ridge action, man. I call it convenient Kapalua.
It's a beautiful house.
So starting right out the gates at about 2 grand a foot or so, huh?
Just over.
Yeah,
Coming down 300,000. No takers yet in
there it is.
95 days.
So it's new construction. That's why they're aspirational. This is an opportunity here, Danny. Although I think that this could be kind of, I've seen others sell for this amount in the condition, but not with that view.
It's quite a nice view.
It is. Now, Onelua Beach, guys, we have board meetings there all through the winter and through the spring. You may be able to find the there quite a bit before 9 a.m. And that's what I love about this space here. This was a long-term rental. The sad thing is, and I know the person that owns this, his dad passed away, so he's coming into the estate. This was always a long-term rental, but dude, they never did the long-term exemption. And I get it, it was new and a lot of people didn't know. So they've been paying TVR taxes on a long-term rental about 18 grand a year, dude.
Oof.
Brutal.
Rough.
I love this one though for that view, but this one is probably the most original I've seen in a long time, except for that carpet. But pristine original, but definitely all original Capitol Ridge. It's got the tile countertops, those cabinets, the tile countertops that match in the bathroom, the whole thing.
What do you think this one goes for in the end?
Well, they're showing me the behavior that I like. I mean, 62 days in, we're already 50,000 done. Somebody's going to buy this thing pretty quick. And maybe, they'll probably get offers hitting them in the high eights and then maybe settle somewhere 900, maybe sub 99. You get that one guy that's like, I just can't pay 9 for it, John. Let's get it done at 899.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Island surf. So used to be vacation rentable. This one had structural issues, or is that another
Yeah,
island
a long
something or
long
other?
time ago, maybe 5 years
It did,
ago. I
huh?
think it's all
They
good.
fixed it. They fixed it. So not hotel zone though. I couldn't find the information. Has some updates. Little view there, huh?
Yeah, you got a little view. I mean, you're looking over Kalama Park.
Right.
This one's on the third floor, so not too big of a view, mainly parking lot for the
Might smell
commercial
some
spaces
might
down.
might smell some of the doobies being burned on that little parking lot at the cove there. But I like the little remod.
Yeah, cute space,
It-
functional,
yeah, there it is.
works. I think that one
Yeah,
keeps coming down.
I think it does too, especially since it's Minatoya. This one back on the market, man. So Pakukalu is one of those up and coming neighborhoods I feel where people are going in, picking them up, flipping them around. But this one came back during the inspection period. Pakukalu is in a flood zone, but I can't imagine the insurance that much of a killer. So maybe somebody thought they could vacation rent it or something. I don't know, but it's back. So if you missed out, opportunity here. Down already 226,047 days. Ooh, Napili Shores coming down a bit here as well. Sub 600. Started out at 600. So it's an upstairs unit, so it does have the higher ceilings. They did the AC. But once again, can I live in 448? Yeah, we've had clients that did it for 20 years. About 3 months out of the year, get out of the snow in Canada. Owned a couple of them.
The one right below it, actually.
That's right.
So yeah, these people are showing maybe some motivation. Not a lot,
That
but
17, 19
whatever.
fees, dude. I want to say those go another 10 years and you cannot pay off the special assessment because of the way the loan's set up there. And that's the big deterrent.
It's a lot of money every month.
Eats into the return, add the taxes on it. You're like, I don't know if I have any revenue to take home with me to not Hawaii.
So it keeps coming
Single
down.
family. This one does 1948 square feet though, man. Look at that view. It's cute inside. I don't know if it's $1,000 a foot, cute, but it's newer construction built in 19, half an acre.
Down 155,000 so far.
Yeah.
Still
You
going.
can, yep. So Hanuakai, yes, these are what the studios start out at their pricing at. Definitely hotel zoned, super popular location. It is Disneyland for TVRs on the west side, in my opinion. People love it. If you've eaten at Duke's, you've hung out at the Hanuakai. Interesting because you got Luana Gardens behind the two towers, also zoned hotel, bigger spaces, kind of like, big duplexes, townhomes, zero view. They bring 4 million all day long.
All day long.
Right. So 11 days in, already dropped by 180. Is that what it is? 190,000?
180.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still don't get it. You're 1,056 square feet. You're on just shy half an acre. How big's my Ohana? 2 bedroom, 1 bath. That's a lot. I get you put some money into it. That seems to be a lot, buddy. I'd just go to
Yeah,
Haiku for that money, dude, and get myself 2 acres and a nice
exactly.
compound.
A real compound. That's probably
That's what's up.
sub 2 milli. So super
Hmm.
aspirational on the price there. That's what we said when it first came out. Slowly coming down. This
Kihei
one
Villages already playing the game.
coming down a little bit.
Put the floors in. Does have the yard. That's room to go sub 500, Danny. Cash. I don't think somebody says no at 499 cash.
I think that's where we're going at Kihei Villages. High
Think so
fours is
too.
going to be the new market, even for the downstairs. So prices coming down, right? Those were almost 700 a couple years
Look at
ago.
that picture, postcard picture over the pools. If you've been here at Maui Kanapali Villas, just to the left there, you would have been drinking a cocktail at Castaways. Maui Kanapali Villa is zoned hotel and apartment, was built as a Hilton property in the 60s. This is one of those that they had set up where they were saying, hey, we should pull this one out, even though it's technically on Minatoya. It was this one, Wailea Ekahi, also Maui Eldorado. And what was the other one, Danny? Remind me. There was one more on the west side. Or maybe it was
Eldorado,
just this one.
Papakea.
That was right. Papa K was the other one. There it is. So yes, a studio, a little bit bigger, 544 square feet. There's a lot of properties in here, man. A lot of different rooms here. But yeah, $1,600 for your fees. These used to hit the market like, $1 million for a 1 bedroom would be gone. But those fees are putting people on pause, I
Yeah,
feel.
most of them didn't hit the market before. They're all sold internally to friends or neighbors, that sort of thing.
One of the highest priced residential neighborhoods because there's about 6 home sites there. Some are an acre, some just a little shy, but also zoned hotel. Um, One of our prolific owners of automobile dealerships lives on that beach. Here it is, guys, Honokawai. So there's a lot of leasehold in there. This one's fee simple. Maintenance fees includes everything, all utilities. And these just sit on the market at 448 for a 2 bedroom, 1 bath. And this is what I'm talking about. And it's because financing, hey, if I could do an FHA loan and then I could eat that $2,000 a month, probably a little bit more manageable. If we could do one of these funky loans that John's talking about. I mean, I'm paying, 7.5% when everybody else is looking at 6.5. It skews, it
Yeah,
skews. And then
so
how
you're
do I
four
turn
or
this
five
into a
thousand a month.
rental? Dude, how do I turn this into a rental? I literally have to charge you 5 grand.
Yeah.
And I'm just making what, 24? And then I got to pay taxes on top of that and upkeep and maintenance. And that's what it's going to be looking like. And that's an old building.
Yeah, this feels a little aspirational considering the maintenance fees, but we'll see.
Yeah. And just that funky tennis court in the middle. It has a pool, which is great for residential. But man, that funky, they got to do something with that.
Yeah, it's in nice shape.
For reals. And good entry price, man. Local couple working together, even in restaurants, could still pull this off. I mean, you'd make decent money here, 60 grand, you make a buck 20 together, potentially pull that off. It's that down payment, man. That's the tough part.
Down payment and monthly.
25%, 25%. I'm looking at what, 100 and something grand, 100 grand?
Yes, sir.
Here we go. Classic 1937 build, post and pier, plantation style house, back when we could all live with one bedroom. We would just schedule our bathroom visits, the 4 bedrooms of us. 1643 square feet, so bigger square footage for a plantation home. Cute. 1325 square feet in Kula on 1.64 acres. This one's going to move, Danny.
Yeah, it sure is. That seems like a pretty good value.
In Lower Kula Road. Okay, so interesting. We started out in the kitchen. I'm a 3 bedroom, 1 bath, 988 square feet. Got my white picket fence, carport. I
Cute
think
little
this one's
house.
going to sell. I don't know if it brings over $1 million, but this one's going to move.
Somewhere in 900 probably.
It's priced to write an offer on for sure. Looks vacant,
Got,
easy to show.
got some options.
3 bedroom, 2 bath, 2390 square feet. Also cool highway. Got an attached Ohana, beautiful twilight photo. Oh, all kinds of
Look at
woodwork up
that.
there. Yeah. On half an acre. Got a 2 bedroom downstairs probably. And then what, you got the 3 upstairs is what I'm gonna imagine. That kind of setup. Classic Hawaii, classic Maui.
Yeah, 2 downstairs. 5 to 6 vehicles. That's a compound.
It is. So you 3 bedroom upstairs, 2 bedroom downstairs, move around the property as you age or whatever you want. Palms at Wailea. So Palms at Wailea, Danny, always been non-vacation rental, or is it Wailea Palms, or what's the difference? I always forget. It's heavily
Uh,
booked. So this one's vacation
yeah, this
rentable
one is vacation
currently.
rental. Wailea Palms is
Currently.
not. Yep,
This seems very aspirational, just acting like nothing's happening. Bigger square footage, I get it, but yeah, that seems aspirational.
agreed. We're using that term a lot these days, Johnny. Aspirational,
Well,
aspirational, aspirational.
and
Land.
aspirational for now compared to like what it was before, it's crazy. It really is interesting to watch. Has his sale, 11 acres. There's got to be some funk here. No water. There it is.
No water. But 11 acres of pasture land. Bring your cows.
There it is. Go off grid, yurt, water catchment, solar farm, Wailea Elua. No, you're not buying the pool.
It's a bit
So
of a
15,
tease.
30,
You feel like, wow, this
15.
is amazing. And then you two
Look
pictures,
at a
you're like,
view.
okay, no view.
There's your ocean view, but it's on the path. That's what I always hear with Wailea Elua.
It's on the
So
path.
1536 square feet. Yeah, let's do it for 2,000 bucks a foot. Let's give it a shot. 1902 for maintenance fees, 3.475. I never really understood Wailea Elua, Jenny, just between you and I. Just
It's a lot of
not
money.
very, it's not like the architecture for me is like all those Wailea Kahis are just not impressive.
Hmm.
Kind of feel like Colorado-ish, some of them kind of, you know what I mean? Like Wailea Kahi, or what's the one as you go up in there where it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like just not like,
I hear you.
yeah, like
Totally.
some of the Kapalua properties, at least give me some stucco and make me feel like it's like,
Something.
yeah,
3475. It'd be
whew,
fun to watch this one.
yeah. Okay, we Kanapali Hillside OG section, 5 bedroom, 4 bath. These were like I was always assuming these were going to hit 3 million. Now I'm seeing them start to come back down there too in the OG section. Same thing we're watching at Kahana Ridge, because to me, Kahana Ridge is just a little behind original Kanapali Hillside. Ooh, interesting color choice there. Well, a lot of square footage, man. Plenty of
Yeah,
house. Had some
a lot of house to
updates.
work with.
Great resort style lifestyle. Get a golf cart, cruise them. Beach, restaurants, shopping. Go see Ima and go get some good takeout sushi in Takumi. He puts it in such nice boxes like the Japanese style. It's so pretty.
Mm,
Oh, here we go. 11 days in. This is how you price them to sell, boo. In Kula.
that's just the unit A too.
That's right.
Little
But you
CPR
get,
action.
yeah, you get a million acre 35. Did they start at 1.6? And then what they bring down to? When it went, oh no, same,
1.6.
same. Yeah.
They got interest right away.
Well,
Fruit
it's that
trees,
view. It's the proof. Yeah, it's a view. What'd she say
acreage.
about unit? What'd she say about unit B? Never mind. That's all right. Also owned by this seller. Okay. So maybe
Nice.
opportunity to buy both.
There you go. Well, hotel zoned in
Kihei
Kihei.
Ikai. Boom. 825 started at 890, priced in the range for offers. 80 days in. We go.
That's kind of an interesting one because there was a 2-bedroom for $899 that was sitting for a while.
Gotta be the space or something. Oh,
Here's another
big boy
Royal
went at
Kahana.
Royal Kahana. Oh man. Got it to 1.5 at 1287. And that's only the fourth floor, yeah. So not up high.
Still get some palm trees in your view.
I'd be like, can you take the furniture?
Don't want that furniture.
Yeah,
We got
okay,
another
here we
unit
go.
A.
Yep. Started a little aspirationally, got it down. Boom. Cash deal though. So another what, potentially non-local, is that what we're gonna assume? I think sometimes we forget on
Trust
these
fund.
I think the one thing we never project where they're like, oh, this house sold and it was not in the range of local people. And I'm like, yeah, but if they had a house to sell, it probably could be.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So here we go. Honuakai still brings some money. Started out at 3,050,000. Still a little setback there. You're looking down at the pools. But yeah, this is what they go for, gang.
All the money. And
All
Kahana
right,
Ridge.
Kahana Ridge coming down. So yeah, was in the twos, comfortably in the twos. Now we are sub twos.
The front
This one
row
looks
one
like
too.
one of those that's front row. So you get a view, but you do get some road noise. And then funky, you got to take care of the land that goes down to the street. Only in the front ones, not like the one that we sold where it was on the side.
Just classic house.
So one last one. Thanks for hanging in, guys, if you did. Oh, Mahana Ridge. How about you just take 7.8 and I give you a conventional loan? Okay. I may take a little longer to get the deal done. Okay.
No problem. So that's kind of setting the standard down for Mahana Ridge, right?
That's it, buddy.
8 milli.
Oh,
Solid.
that one's on the side ridge there. Right on.
Not
Mahalo,
on
gang.
top. Hooey ho. See you next time.
Yes, sir.